We're here.
We're here.
We are here. How was last week? You did it all by yourself, and I bet.
Well, I was lonely.
Were you lonely?
Yeah, but it went well.
Well, good.
I feel like I covered everything anyway.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Well, that doesn't surprise me. But I'm this particular topic. I know everybody. Let me just say this. I have so many people that come up to me and go, "Why do you guys talk about reviews all the time?" And it's like, oh, because it's really important. And when somebody says, I just don't think they're near as important as y'all make them, today, you want to watch today. Because this is fascinating stuff today. Really, really, in my opinion, fascinating, cool stuff. Hey, Mitch, thanks for giving us a thumbs up. Anybody else out there? We are ready for you. Oh boy, Renee says, real quick, I missed last week, but I was watching it just now while I was waiting for you guys. We'll finish it later. So see, Renee, you're gonna love last week because it was good too. I only know because I actually went over it before I left, and I thought, oh, I hated missing it. Great stuff. Great stuff. So, what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about what the top customer review trends are for 2022. But before I get into that, I want to say a couple of things. This is really about how consumers read and write local business reviews. So, this is really um, survey that was done questioning consumers about their habits and what they do. How do they actually read reviews? How they actually write the reviews? So we're gonna dig into this just a minute. Um, so the very first question is this: how many use the internet to find a local business in the last year? So if you guys that are out there, take a guess. How many? Just a percentage. How many in a percentage do you guys think actually your consumers and customers use the internet to find a local business in the last year? I'd love to get some guesses. Anybody out there? I don't see any comments. I don't see any comments yet. Oh, come on, guys. Just take a guess. Take a guess. Any guess. 85. Thanks, Cheryl. Renee. So there's 85. 85. Are you guys ready for this? 99%. 99% of the people use the internet to find local businesses in the last year. I got a stepmother that's going to be 88 in June, and my dad will be 88 in November. And we were just down there looking for a restaurant, and guess where they were looking? On their phones. My stepmother has an iPhone. She has her iPhone out. My dad's like, I have a slow phone. So, he's a little slower than she is. But isn't that amazing? 99% of your consumers have used the internet to find out about a local business last year. It's just amazing. 78 of those consumers use the internet to find information more than once a week. That is up from 69% in 2020. I mean, Carter, you got any thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, it's going up. It is. I was going to ask, was this in the U.S. or was this a global survey?
This is the U.S.
Okay.
This is the U.S.
All
Yeah.
right. So, want to just make sure because that makes a bit of a difference just in the context of what we're talking about. 78% more than once a week. So
Yeah.
that's. I mean, I know me. It's more than once a day, but
Oh, here's another interesting statistic. So 21% of consumers use the internet every day to find information out about a local business. But here's the thing about that: that's actually down from 34%, which I thought that was interesting.
I wonder if the pandemic might have
I,
something to do.
I was gonna say that it's interesting because the pandemic really brought some other, kind of some other things to light. So a lot of us were ordering food and, almost on a daily basis, or getting rides, or, taking us somewhere. I mean, it's really, really different. Ordering, my wife was ordering toiletries and, things that you normally buy from the grocery store, which is another thing. People bought so many of their groceries during the pandemic. They would order their groceries on the app and go pick it up. I don't know if that's part of this, but I would think it would be, because you're looking for a grocery store.
Well, I
You
mean,
know?
if yeah, people just were going fewer places over the past 2 years. And if you're going fewer places, then you're not searching for places to go, or you're not looking at local businesses.
Yeah, I love this. Terry was the low at 60, and 85. Renee and Cheryl at 85 were the high, but 99%. So Cheryl also said, people like me that do not shop use it all the time. So true.
Yep.
So that was the first. That was the first big question that we had. That was just really, really interesting. And Carter, I'm going to let you take this one. So tell us, which were the 2021 winners and losers in the race to capture the attention, the opinions of consumers. And remember, these are consumers telling you who captured their attention.
These would be the big players, the ones that are the go-to places online to get information about local businesses, right? So, I mean, Google, Yelp, Facebook, etc. So the breakdown goes like this: the absolute number one winner for like the 10th or 15th or billionth year in a row, I don't know, is of course the 800-pound gorilla in the room, Google. It went from 63% of consumers using Google in 2020 to 81% in 2021. So that's a significant leap, and a lot of Google share, or a lot of share of search there for Google. Yelp comes in with 53%, and that's up as well from 32% last in 2020 up to 53%. And Facebook is up from, or down, actually, it dropped to 48%, which is down from 54%. So not as big of a drop, but still, that's interesting that Facebook, I wouldn't have guessed. I would have guessed that Yelp would have been the one continually seeing shrinking market share, and that Facebook would have climbed a little bit. And then Apple Maps gets the remainder share, or the smallest percentage of 13% of consumers who use it for local search, local business search.
Well, I put this up from Renee because I will tell you, everybody hates Yelp. I know of maybe two companies in the entire time, the last 12 years, that love Yelp. They're both on the West Coast, and they get the vast majority of their business from Yelp. Yelp really is almost location based. There are just pockets that Yelp is really, really big, and then there are huge places that nobody even goes to Yelp. So it's a real interesting thing. If you're in one of those pockets, should you be there? Yeah, absolutely. You almost have to. But if Yelp is difficult for where you are, then concentrate on Google, because it's far superior. More people go to Google than anywhere else. I mean, that's just hands down. So here's another one from Renee. I ignore their calls. Yes, I hear that all the time, Renee. That Yelp is just a place to get negative reviews. Uh, that is so true in so many areas. So let's go to the next one. Are you guys enjoying this? This is another really great question here, because I get this a lot. How often do consumers read online reviews for local businesses? It's another percentage question. Any of you guys guys and ladies out there want to take a guess? Just how often do consumers actually read those doggone reviews for your local businesses?
I wonder if they draw a distinction in while we're waiting for people to answer that question.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if they draw a distinction in the survey. What do they mean by read reviews? Does that mean just looking at their stars, like, the number of reviews and the number of stars that they have, their rating? Or does that mean actually clicking through and reading actual consumer reviews, the posted review for a business and reading them? I just wonder if the stars and the ratings are might be considered, quote, reading.
I think it's reading, looking at. I think that's just part of it. There's Chuck again. Renee, I agree. Y'all must be twins. Y'all put in the 75 percenters together. So we got 275%, a 60, a 93%. Yeah, that's Chuck, and 78%. Oh, of our new business comes from the internet, Google and Yelp for us. Sorry, I was looking at the percentages. So here's one for Terry, Yelp actually brings more people than Google. So they may go to Google first and then go to the Yelp organic listing and actually look at reviews. So that's good. So let's talk about this, about reviews. This is what's really interesting here. So do they read reviews online? Here are the stats. 98% of the people, 98%. Let's say that again. 98% occasionally read online reviews for local businesses. Notice how I did that? I thought they were going to be out there every day, right? But they occasionally do that. So while 99% of people look for businesses, 98% actually look at reviews occasionally. See, these are when the stats can really get crazy. This is why I like this survey. 77% of consumers always or regularly read online reviews when browsing for local businesses. And that is up from 60% in 2020.
From 60 to 77.
60 to 77. So that tells me, I wonder how many people had a bad experience in 2020 and said, oh, I'm going to have to start looking at reviews to see if I can figure that out. So those people, I think in the 75 percentile range, that's kind of an average there. The ones that guessed that, I think it was a pretty good guess. The percentage of people who never read reviews when browsing local businesses has fallen from 13% in 2020 to just 2% in 2021. I'm going to read that one more time. The percentage of people that never read reviews when browsing local businesses has fallen from 13% in 2020 to 2% in 2021. I mean, guys, that's huge. Huge. When you start looking at that, it's just absolutely crazy. But here's my favorite one. Carter, I'm gonna do this one too, just because.
Yeah. Sure.
I love this. Are y'all ready for this? Which business types do consumers pay the most attention to reviews? What is the type of business? So if you guys got some more guessing to do, this would be fun. What type of business do you think consumers pay the most attention to when it comes to reviews? Restaurants, service, restaurant, blue collar, home services where someone's coming to my house. Gosh, you guys are smart. Y'all are smarter than I was when I read this. It's true. Get this, guys. Service businesses and tradespersons. 84% said reviews are important or very important in their decision. That was the highest number. So 84% of blue collar tradesmen anybody that comes to their home is actually number one when it comes to reviews. Do you know what second and third? Blew me away. You guys, more people look at reviews for what y'all do than doctors, hospitals, any kind of caregiver. Isn't that crazy?
And restaurants aren't even in the top three.
They're not even there. So that just blew me away because my guess was restaurants too. I mean that was my guess. Was the first one. So here goes the next one. I'm gonna let you take this one. Here we go. How many consumers write reviews, and for what types of experiences?
I found this one really interesting because most of the time the surveys just focus on consumers consuming reviews. You know, what is the habit of the consumer when it comes to um, the way that they look at reviews or use reviews in their decision making, right? This actually went further to say, um, how do consumers actually make a decision to write a review, and what kinds of experiences trigger that decision to leave a review. So 74% of consumers have left reviews for local businesses in the past 12 months. That's higher than I would have thought. I would have said probably more than 50, but probably not much more than 50%, is what I would have guessed. So 74%, that's pretty significant. 67% of consumers will consider leaving a review for a positive experience, while 40% will consider leaving a review for a negative experience, and a crossover of about 33% consider leaving a review for either kind of experience. So this was backwards to me. And in the past, we've seen indications of, I mean, because of the Yelp culture, it seems, and we've seen other survey results that indicated that people are much more likely to leave a review when they have a bad experience than they are when they have a good experience. And this countered that. This is different. So the overwhelming number of people who might be predisposed to leave a review would do so if 67% would do so if it was a good experience, versus only 40% for a negative. So that's that was interesting to me. Yeah, I think that means that people understand the importance of their words and the reviews that they leave for local businesses. We'll get into that here in the next one, but in the next point that qualifies a little bit more why consumers do what they do, or what motivates them to leave a review. But that was interesting. So only 7% of consumers leave reviews for negative experiences only. So again, a much smaller number than I would have thought. I had pictured in my head these Yelp monsters that just love to troll and love to pick on small businesses and leave nasty words. And that turns out to be a very small number of individuals. Only 7% of consumers only leave reviews for negative experiences. 34% of consumers only leave reviews for positive experiences. And I count myself in that group. Taylor, I think you do too.
Yeah,
I don't leave negative reviews. I'd much rather, if I feel that a bad experience rises to the level of me actually saying something, then I deal directly with the manager or with the owner of the business. I don't air dirty laundry in public that way. I don't want people to do that to me. I don't want people doing that to my clients' businesses. So I choose not to do that. And I only leave positive reviews. So 4 stars or more. So
I think too, when I read this, what it did for me it made me feel more comfortable in asking people for reviews, knowing that if I do get a negative review, that I can respond to it and do it in a way that hopefully we can take it offline and turn that thing around and be good. But we all think that the predisposition of people is to leave that negative review. So when you realize that there's so many more that want to leave you a positive review, that they really do want to help a small, local service business and, restaurant, whatever, to help them in that manner and not to detract. So I hope that for those of you that may feel a little bit reluctant or hesitant to leave, to ask for reviews, because we do have people that's like, oh, I don't want to ask because every time I ask, it's going to be a negative situation, and I don't want to do that. So hopefully, what that does is it gives you some confidence that the odds are in your favor to get a really good review. I don't know. That comes from. I'm sure that comes from a movie somewhere. The odds are in your favor. Um, but again, I just think that's to me just a really good, uh, I guess, bolstering that I should be asking, because the odds of getting a really good review really are in our favor when we ask and know that consumers, they really do want to give us that. So I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. We'll do this last one.
Yeah, so the next one is, what factors influence a consumer's decision to leave a review? Now, this is, to me, this was fascinating. Another one, because what is it that we can do as a business that really influences a consumer to decide, are they going to leave a review or not, or is it going to be positive or negative or not, or what's going on? So 88% of consumers say they would be likely or highly likely to leave a review if the business went above and beyond to ensure they had an exceptional experience. So there you go, guys. 88%. What does it take to go above and beyond your competition? I mean, that's really the question. Can you go above and beyond your competition? Is there something that you can be providing to your customer that may put you in light that, wow, this is more than I expected? So if you can do that, then 88% of your customer base wants to leave you a review. 80% of consumers say they would be likely or highly likely to leave a review if they initially had a negative experience that was turned into a very positive experience. We have been preaching this forever. Do not back away or be afraid of those negative experiences, because not only will that customer be more apt to review you positively, when you answer it out loud, answer it in the public forum, the people that are reading that also are more prone to give you a call than somebody else that ignores any kind of negativity, because they want to deal with people that they can be assured of that if they have a negative experience, that company cares enough to bring it back to a positive experience. So it just totally reinforces what we've been preaching forever. 74% of consumers say they would likely or highly likely to leave a review if they knew that the business was, get this, guys, family owned, while only 43% feel the same about a large chain.
74 versus 43%. So
Yes.
that's huge. People like to support and shop local.
Yes.
And local service businesses especially are favored among, I mean, if family owned, it's a no-brainer. My antennas go up and say, yep, if you're family owned, you ought to be using that in your marketing. You ought to let people know, uh, you know, not only that you're family owned, but make the story of your family part of the story of your company, and let people know that, so that they feel connected to you and your family, and supporting it, as it becomes a huge deal. So
So we're going to start family owned. We've known each other long enough. We might as well be family.
Family.
Just saying.
Yeah.
73% of consumers say they would likely or highly likely leave a review if the business had a low average star rating and they didn't think it was deserved. So let me say that again. 73% of consumers say they would be likely or highly likely to leave a review if the business had a low rating, a low average star rating, and they didn't think it was deserved. So if you've got a low star rating, and I've had this conversation with people as well, that's, well, my rating is so low, what do I do? Go back to number one where it says 88% of your consumers are very highly likely to give you a review if you give them an above average service. When you give them an exceptional experience, they want to rate you high. And then on top of that, you've got 73% that say, if you've got a low rating and I think it's undeserved, I want to go in there and help you. So if you're dealing with low ratings, give them those exceptional experiences, and you've got a double whammy there. You've got a great opportunity to turn that low rating around and really get some really great reviews. But you have to hone in on the experience. I just think that's part of it. And then the last one here is 77% of consumers said they would be likely or highly likely to leave a review if they knew that the business was fairly new. So this happens a lot when we talk to really young new business owners, and they're like, well, I'm unknown, I'm this, I'm that. Don't be afraid to let people know that you're new. You can have 30 years of experience, but now you're a new business. It's clear they want to support a new business. And if you're a new business and you're family owned and hit some of the other, buttons down here and give an exceptional experience, don't be afraid to ask for those reviews, which this is not on there, but I will tell you this. I had a conversation earlier today. I said, what is the reason that you think you're getting really good reviews? And the person on the other end said, because we ask. Because we ask. If you are not asking for reviews, then you're probably not going to get as many of them. So it's just asking is a really good reminder to your customers that, hey, I'm here. Give us a review. So I'm going to ask. We're here. So if you'll go to Google and find Spark Marketer, give us a review. Even if you've done it before, give us another one. It's okay. And the reason I'm asking right now is this. At a plumbing company, they're going to be part of the family here pretty soon. But one of the things he said, you talk about reviews and how good ours are and all this stuff. Well, I went to look at yours. You got great reviews, but they're all like 4 years old and 10 years old. And I'm saying, yeah, because we keep our same customers. So I'm just decided we're going to start asking all of our old customers to go update their reviews and give us some new ones, because I think we need to. But we've got people who have been with us for so long. So how's that? I'm asking for a review. You can find us on Google. If you can't find us, let me know, and I'll send you a link. I promise. So there you go. Anyway, guys, here's the thing about next week. Two things. I'm gonna ask y'all to do something else for us. Tell somebody to tune in. Reach out to at least one person. And somebody's at my door. So if the dogs go crazy, we're live. Reach out to somebody in the industry or somebody that you know and just say, hey, this is a great live. It's a podcast. You can send them to the podcast. But we really want to get this information out to more people so that they're watching and looking and paying attention and really helping them grow their business. So if you can do that, that would be great. And we're going to talk about custom review trends, part two. Would you like that? Part two. So this is what it is. Next week, it's all about how customers perceive reviews again, it's about how your customers perceive your existing reviews, which is really, really interesting as well. So that's what we're going to cover next week in part 2. In the meantime, have somebody tune in and know that Spark Live can now be found as a podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and your favorite podcast player. In one of these days, I think we're going to have to get Cheryl Eisenhower and Renee Brigman on here and show how twinsy they are. So that's always fun. It's always fun. So, guys, we're a little bit over 30 minutes. We try to keep it at this. We're going to bid you adieu. And until next week, we love you guys. And again, we're going to talk more about the trends, and I think it'll be another fun session. So we'll talk later. You guys have a great week. Cheryl said, ready when you are. Well, it may be sooner than you think, Cheryl. You just never know. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.